Okay, my name's Robin Rathor and I'm a founder of Bamboo Auctions. We believe that whether you're buying or selling a home, the process should be exciting, simple and certain. So we came up with Bamboo Auctions. It's an online property auction website that allows buyers and sellers to exchange immediately at the end of the auction period. Buyers are pre-approved. We carry out all identity and anti-money laundering checks, and they can search, download legal documents, arrange site viewings, and place bids on properties. Exchange, as I said, occurs immediately at the end of the auction. So there is so estate agents get paid their commissions faster, and also there's greater certainty for buyers and sellers in the transaction as a whole. Okay, so this is the site as you see it when you go to it. In fact, we went live 3 days ago. So you can actually access it. It's bambooauctions.com, and if you know any estate agents, then get them to sign up. And if you want to sell a house or buy a house, then log in. I'm sorry, that's a massive ask, right? But this is how the site works. So an estate agent who is acting on behalf of the seller gets access to a dashboard, and in that dashboard, he can see all the properties that he has listed, and you can see the status of those properties. And you can also add new properties. And adding a property is really easy. You just simply, I'll go to a pre-populated form, but it is really just as filling in a form with the relevant information and the pictures, floor plans, also putting in the dates that you're available to host an open house so that buyers can actually attend that house, and then uploading a legal pack in advance. Once they're ready, they simply publish that site or publish that property. From a buyer perspective, they can go in, they can, this is what they'll see. It's very kind of a familiar kind of Rightmove Zoopla style interface. And they can go in, they can search for the properties, they can arrange site viewings through the calendar. They can, send messages to agents and solicitors, and they can place bids on the properties. So placing a bid on a property is really easy. They simply type the amount. I'm feeling flush, so I'm going to bid £800,000. We store the solicitors. They have to input details of their buyer's solicitor and their payment details. We don't charge a full £800,000. Don't get scared. We actually take a holding deposit of £5,000. It's a fixed amount, which gets held on behalf of the seller. And that's basically to ensure that the buyer doesn't run away or sabotage the auction process. And that's it. Thank you very much. And
awesome. Thank you very much.
Any feedback or questions I'm happy to take.
You talked about a legal pack. I guess normally if you're buying a property, you have your own lawyer do all these searches and all of that stuff.
Yep.
So I'm just wondering who carries out the legal work, and whether I trust, as I understood it there, if it's just some third party and how that lawyer's not really working for me, and how do you deal with who pays for the legal fees and all of that? In
terms of the legals, it's slightly different to the traditional method of sale. So obviously, as you say, buyers would normally instruct their lawyer to do all the searches in the traditional sense. But in an auction sense, the seller provides the legal pack, which is they provide them in advance of the auction. The seller has to pay for that, but they can recover the cost from the buyer once the buyer has won the auction. And that's a contractual thing. We actually work with a centralised team of auction lawyers who we're in partnership with, and they can provide legal packs centrally to our sellers for both cheaper and quicker than they would if they go and instruct them somewhere else. And because they're centralised, they come in a standard template as well. And the cost of that is from £247 plus VAT. And so, as I say, sellers have to pay that up front, but they can recover that cost from the winning buyer immediately on the sale.
So if the solicitor down the line had been negligent, he hadn't done his search and something's about to be built down the road a couple of years after you bought the property, I guess the buyer just...
Well, there's an element of buyer beware.
Right, okay.
And the buyer can always carry out their own searches if they don't trust the legal pack done by the seller. But, generally how it works and how it has always worked in the auction world is that the seller provides the legal pack, and sorry, this is not working, and the buyer will then kind of have a look at that and make their decision based on that legal pack.
Thank you very much, Robin. That's all we've got time for. Big round of applause.